So once you have your keyword data, it's important to start mapping those keywords to specific pages on your website. In this example, I'm looking at CubeSmart and just showing how I would put together a keyword map. So typically you're going to have your home page and then you're going to have your location pages as your most important pages on your website. So we'll cover location pages in a little more detail in a second. If you only have one location, you can often use your home page as the page you're optimizing. If you have more than one location, I like to use the home page just for your brand name and have your specific location pages be the ones where you target self-storage in your city. So we'll come back to this sheet. I want to touch a little bit on location pages. So we covered this briefly, but location pages are probably your most critical pages on your entire website. These are going to be the pages where you could actually target self-storage in the various cities that your facilities are located in. Level 1 is creating pages specifically targeted to a city. So in this example, we could see CubeSmart has a location page for New York City. They have another one for Brooklyn, and they have another one for Queens. If we open this up, you'll see when a user lands on this page. We'll actually do the search here and click on it from the search results. So if I search this keyword, first I'm going to see the ads at the top. Then we're going to see the local results. Then we're actually going to see the organic listings. So if I click on CubeSmart listing here, this is going to take me right to their Brooklyn location page. Now they have multiple locations within Brooklyn. So this is more of an example of when you're targeting a larger area with multiple locations. A specific example in that could be something like this, where there's a specific location page here. So if someone's typing self-storage in this specific area or road, this page would show up. And then the Brooklyn page would be the broader page targeting the Brooklyn area. And that's what phase 2 is. In the beginning, when you have one location, you're really going to be as targeted as possible and target your specific city. Once you have multiple locations, the next step is either to create county or state pages. And the example of that would be similar to this here. If I just go to New York self-storage, this is going to take me to a page where it has all their listings in these different areas. And we could even do the same thing. If we click into one of these, now you can see we're in Albany. And this really gives us a lot of the different details on this market. Now, this page is ultimately they're trying to rank for self-storage in New York, the state. And then with these city pages and county pages, you can start targeting additional keywords. So that's level 2, is state plus county or larger area pages where you have multiple locations on one page. These ones here are just going to be super targeted, one location. This is going to have multiple. And then another variation is location plus feature. So this is where things like climate controlled, business storage, you could start targeting some of those. So the way you would do that, if we go back to the New York self-storage page and we look here, so you'll see they're actually targeting small, medium, large, vehicle, climate controlled, drive up. You can see all these variations. There's a dedicated page, and if we look at the URL for this. So if someone's typing in climate controlled storage in Albany, this is the ideal page to show up, and it's fully optimized around that phrase. In this case, they only have one location. If they had multiple, there would be another location below this. So this is how you start targeting storage plus those specifics like climate control, 24-hour access, business, personal, all those variations that you might want to target, and also size as well, small, medium, and large. With this strategy, you're going to cover 90+% of the keywords that are important for you. You could stop here after implementing this kind of strategy, and most likely you won't need to do much else from a content standpoint. Now, but you will need to work on backlinks and local SEO, which we're going to cover. This strategy is only going to help you rank in the traditional organic results here. But ultimately, the map listings is much more valuable space. And then typically there's going to be ads at the top, which are going to be important in some markets. But those location pages will get you featured here in this section of the search results. In terms of how you actually optimize these pages, the first thing is to think about is, does your page have all the information to help someone book a unit? So some of the things I like to look for, let's go to their specific page here, are obviously you want to have online booking, and that should be integrated and super easy for someone to check out and book a unit right through the website. But in terms of conversion, some of the things you're going to want to do are integrating your reviews on your page. You don't want someone to have to leave this page to find your reviews. Once they're on this page, we don't want them to leave. We want to give them everything that's needed for them to actually book a unit. So reviews are important. Your business address, your phone number, hours, all the key information. You want your booking system as high as possible, so it's easy for users to book. Then there's a lot of things you could do at the bottom of the page. Underneath the booking, CubeSmart's doing it in a sidebar. A lot of facilities will do it underneath this. This is a nice feature if you have multiple locations showing related ones. If you only have a few facilities, this isn't as important. Testimonials and reviews right on the page are critical. FAQs are very common. So you could start to see all the different features you could add to your page, where ideally, because you can't count on somebody visiting multiple pages. Many people are going to look at one page and either click the back button and go to another facility or book a unit. So we want to make that as seamless as possible. So that's always number one, is design and user experience. Once that's in place, then there's really just a few key elements for SEO that you'll need to optimize. The title tag and the meta description are probably the most critical. That's going to be the copy that shows up in the search results. So it's not visible on the page itself, but it's visible in search results and also in the browser here. So when I go to search results, this copy, the blue link, is the title tag, and this copy underneath is the meta description. So this is really important for ranking, but even more important, this copy can help you increase your click-through rate. The key with this is you want to stand out. Looking at these three, everybody's pretty much doing the exact same thing, and nothing's really compelling here. There's a lot of missed opportunity here to include some more copy to encourage people to click on your listing versus the competitors. The way I like to think about that, if more people start clicking on this listing than the ones above it, Google sees that data and will start to realize that this result is better than the ones above it, and this result will get moved up over time, and Google gets that data in real time. So optimizing for click-through rate is really important. It's a similar process of optimizing ad copy. You would always do click-through rate testing and optimize your Google Ads copy that shows up here. We should really be doing the same thing for organic search if we really want to maximize click-through rate and ultimately organic traffic. So this copy is critical. The title tag is an interesting one. It's one of the few things that still has a very large impact by itself. If your title tags are not optimized and you just add the target keyword like self-storage or storage units in your city into your title tag, your rankings will move up. You might not get to position 1, you might not get to the first page, but you will see an increase in rankings just from doing that alone. Now we want to do everything else just so you have the best chance of ranking and getting actual leads and tenants. But this is always interesting how powerful this can be. Meta description, again, that copy that shows up underneath. Don't worry about keywords in this tag. You just want to make this compelling and use this copy as a chance to encourage people to click on your listing. In the title tag, you do want to include the exact keyword, typically towards the front of the tag. Headings, I'm not too concerned with nowadays. Typically, you want to optimize your H1 and the H2s and 3s on your page, but really these should be more written for users. Don't worry about jamming keywords into all of these tags. In the H1, it's nice to have a variation of the main keyword. If you're doing like storage units in New York City for the title tag, maybe do self-storage facility in New York City for your H1. Images, this is small nowadays, but it's still worth doing. When you upload an image, the file name should be something descriptive, ideally with a keyword in it, and same thing with the image alt text, which is in the HTML code of the image. Internal links are really important, linking to and from other content. The way I like to look at it is the more we link to a page, the more important we're saying that page is. So it's really important to add internal links. And then from a content standpoint, this is more for blog content. You don't have to worry about being over 2,000 words on a location specific page, but really you want to optimize these pages more for users. So in this example here, in this sheet, what's nice about this keyword mapping sheet is you could input the URL and it'll automatically tell you with this formula what your title tag is, what your meta description is, and what your H1 is. So the nice thing about this is you can quickly see, once you determine the keywords you're targeting, which you need to fill in column C, you could see if your tags are aligned with these keywords. If we look at CubeSmart here, they have New York City storage units and facilities in the title tag. Now, one thing they're doing, what the REITs can get away with is they put their brand name at the end of the tag. Because they're so well known, that can actually help their click-through rate. For a smaller facility that's not as well known, I'd rather use the space at the end of this tag to put something more compelling. Things like discounts or promos you're running, all those little things will make you stand out on the search results. Because again, if we type in self-storage New York City and pull this up, we're going to start to see a lot of things that are very similar. So find self-storage in New York City, storage units in New York City, best. Here we have 30 cheap, and they're adding in a dollar modifier at the end. Extra Space seems to be doing the same thing and actually trying to go with a lower amount. And then you can see Sparefoot's trying to go even lower with from $5. Now this from amount, this is very common. A lot of companies do this, but you're going to end up blending in. Sparefoot does this on pretty much every page, and a lot of other companies are starting to copy that. Not that they were the first one to do it. There's other companies that do it as well. I'd rather see, what I've seen work better sometimes is more promos. If you have 50% off the first month or a dollar move-in first month, some of those kind of larger promo kind of things I find can still work really well, and it'll differentiate you a little bit, assuming you're running one of those. If you're not, try to think about what you can write here that'll encourage people to click on your listing. And that takes some testing. But this sheet will help you understand if your location pages are optimized properly. It's really nice to be able to look in one line at the keywords and then how your tags are written, so you could start to think through how you're going to make changes. You'll see for the Brooklyn page, they are following the same format, and they tend to follow a template where it's location, storage units, and facilities, because they're trying to target both the word unit and facility, and then their brand name. You could also see how they do their descriptions. And then for their H1s, they actually say find self-storage in the location. I like to make the H1 the title a little bit different the way they're doing it. And they actually have self-storage in their H1, and then they have storage units in the title tag. That's a nice way to kind of work in both phrases. And then we could see their feature pages like climate control and business storage here. I actually pulled public storage for this one. So this template, we will be giving this away. So I'll have more detail on that, which includes the keyword projection sheet and the sitemap. So both of these I'll be giving away in my newsletter very soon.